only 4 different ways to pass down assets when you passed away. So one is obviously the probate process, and of course the trust process. There are also joint tenancy, joint ownership, and as well as contracts. So probate, all of you, hopefully you've heard me explain this long enough, that probate is a court proceeding where it's a very expensive process because all the costs and fees are based on a percentage basis. And also it's a lengthy process. And currently under COVID-19, it's even a longer process because the courthouse is shut down. So we can't even go to court at all. All our current probate cases are actually been postponed indefinitely. And some of our colleagues who are litigators, all their trials been postponed for 180 days. So you can imagine not only it was bad before, it's even worse now. And of course, joint ownership. Joint ownership is the other way to pass down the property. So the most common example is joint tenancy with a right of survivorship. So if you own the property in joint tenancy, when the first person passes away, it doesn't go through probate. It goes to the surviving tenant. So people typically have this misunderstanding that if you own things in joint tenancy, it would avoid probate. It actually just delays the probate until the second or the last tenant passes away. So it's a shortcut to avoid the first probate, but it's not the best way to do it. But I want to make sure you're aware of this. And this is not only relating to a house, but also bank accounts and anything that you own jointly with the other person. The downside of joint tenancy, even though you may avoid probate on the first death, the downside, however, is the following. If one of you should get into an auto accident or get into any kind of liability issue, they can attack the entire account or entire house. The second thing is that if you are married to each other and you hold the property in joint tenancy versus in, for example, in the trust, then you actually will lose out on the opportunity to have a double step up in tax basis to be able to eliminate or minimize the capital gains tax exposure.